Bob Smith, and today we will be interviewing one of the world's renowned newspaper throwers. My good friend Tom Tadge, in fact, is coming here today to teach us all about how to throw newspapers. So if you're looking for an extra job late at night, why don't you welcome Tom Tadge. Hey Tom, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great, great. I see you brought some of your work with you.
Yes.
Some of your newspapers.
Yes.
And I would like to talk to you a little bit about newspapers, about how you got into... Right. How did you get started?
Well, I guess just part-time job, extra work.
Ah.
Trying to find a way to make a little extra money.
Right.
Yeah. The wife was always complaining about not having enough money.
Is it a good paying job?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a fun job late at night. Get outside. Enjoy some of the weather.
But the problem is that more and more people are looking at the internet as a source of...
That's true.
Newspaper, or as a source of news.
Yes, yes. You're right about that. But the good thing about this, people like to have something in their hands.
To me.
When they're...
Anyway, we went to Tom's house. We went to Tom's house to see how he prepares for a day rolling newspapers. Everyone reads newspapers, but not everyone knows how to throw newspapers. I'm going to show you how it's done. Now, when you get to your place of employment where all the newspapers are, it's normally going to be a gigantic warehouse. And you want to get there about an hour early every day. On your first day, you want to be there on time, but after that, you want to get there a little bit earlier, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be searching through the newspapers, and you're going to actually be throwing away stuff that you don't think people are going to want. Now, these are all advertisements, and what I like to do is I like to just stack them on the side, and I get rid of them. I just dispose of them. You don't want your boss to find out that you're doing this, because these companies pay a lot of money to have their advertisements placed in the newspaper. The problem is, one of these stacks of advertisements may not weigh very much, maybe 4 ounces, 5 ounces, but if you have to deliver 500 newspapers, or even 100 newspapers, that adds up to quite a bit of weight. And that puts a lot of wear and tear on your shocks and your springs. You spend more time with the gasoline. You have to buy more gasoline for your car. So you really want to just discard that, okay? You do want your newspaper to weigh a little bit. I mean, you can't just discard everything. I know nobody reads the Golf Town section. Who plays golf these days? The Home Center with the prices of houses, people don't read that. The comics, I know nobody reads that. Business, I know people are going to read the business section. And the business section you want to keep in the newspaper, because a lot of the people that are buying newspapers that pay your job, they want that section. They make money and they want to learn how to make more money. So you want to keep that in there. Jobs, that's probably okay to keep in there. Automobiles, you really don't need that in there either, because everywhere you go you see people driving around with cars with signs on it for sale, so that's how you can find a car. But the problem is, if I only have these two sections, it's going to be a very light newspaper. And when I go to throw it out the window, of course, it's not going to fly very far. It's probably going to make it right there on the sidewalk. And then you have to stop the car, open the door, get out, and then you have to throw it up onto the porch, and hopefully if it's heavy enough it makes it, and if not... another benefit about newspapers is when you're cold, you can tuck them up inside your shirt as insulation. You're going to be following around your boss, who's going to show you your route, and he's going to show you how to wrap the newspapers, and he's going to give you a list of the people that are wanting newspapers for that day. Now this is a pretty big list. It's got about 300 subscribers, and as you can see here, like this one here, 1400 Main Street, they don't want a newspaper today. I mean, you can use them for coating the bottom of a rabbit cage. Now after you've gotten your list, you can make it a smaller list like this, and then you can hang it from the rear view mirror. And this helps because you are not going to remember 500 addresses, and after a while you will. So you look at the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth. I've got about 20 on each sheet of paper. And I hang that from my rear view mirror. And when I'm driving down the street, all I have to do is look up at the mirror, and I know exactly who gets a newspaper and who doesn't. Because some people like to go on vacation, and they don't want you to deliver a newspaper. Otherwise, they have stacks and stacks of newspaper on their front lawn, which is basically an invitation for a robber to come rob them. But there is an even better way than having a list hanging from your rear view mirror. People that make hostage notes, they need newspapers. They cut letters out of the newspaper and spell words. But here's the problem. For the first month or so, you're going to have to remember that John Doe over here, he doesn't want a newspaper on Friday, and Susie only wants Wednesday, Tuesdays, Mondays. I mean, it's real confusing. This person is on vacation. These people want you to deliver it at the door. I mean, there's so many different things. Everyone wants to make up a certain set of rules. So what I found is the best way to do this is to get yourself just a blank cassette tape and pop it in a tape player. Get a sturdy microphone at Radio Shack. These cost about $9.95. And push record and start reading your list. They make great curtains for newlyweds. Now the best part about this is you're actually making a co-pilot to sit beside you. And instead of you having to read this, your co-pilot is reading this for you. Well, thank you for being on this show. And tune in again next time when we will be discussing underage drinking.